Hey, welcome to the iPhoneography podcast. I'm Greg McMillan, and it is on Monday, July 6th as we record this. It's a beautiful day up here in Canada, and we will probably find out here shortly when I bring the guys in that Dave has probably got the same weather. I would imagine. We always do. Gonna start off with well, I was gonna try to start off with a bit of news, but we really didn't have any. I think that's just maybe a little laziness on our part. We didn't really look for much, but I do have one thing I wanna mention, and that is I got these stickers from Glass. Now 2 of them are already stuck to things, and then this is the other one. They had a photo contest, and the idea was to make a glass logo out of something, out of things, whether you actually saw it naturally in the wild or you put something together. So I did these plates and a knife and a fork, and I made them in the shape of the Glass logo, and they really liked it. So I got this letter from them, and these are on my Glass account, as you can see them. But I thought what was really cool is, and you won't be able to see this, but there's a little wee smiley face on the back of the letter, and I thought, that's pretty cool attention to detail by those folks. And so, I don't know, I was pretty excited when I got this envelope in the mail. My wife brought the mail in and brought put it on the table, and I said, "Amsterdam? I don't know anybody in Amsterdam." And then sure enough, it was from them. So that's I thought that was pretty cool. My Glass account is linked in the show notes, so if you go there, you'll see the pictures and stuff that I'm talking about here. So anyway, we have a pretty good show tonight. We have another guest, which is awesome. I love it when we have people on, and I'm just going to bring everybody in together, and we're going to bring in Dave and Dwight and Eric from Florida. Hey guys.
Welcome, Eric.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so Eric is a sports photographer, and what we're going to talk about is how he integrates his iPhone into his workflow, into what he does with the sports stuff. So before we get into that though, Eric, let's just get a real quick, brief idea of who you are and what you're all about.
I'm a full-time parent. I have 4 kids, so summer now, so they're doing a lot of stuff. But so I've been a photographer since 2000, and I've been taking photos of everything. About 2 years ago, decided to niche in sports, and when I niched, then everything, my whole photography world changed. People were very interested in what I was shooting with sports and stuff. So it kind of put me on the radar. And now I love to shoot sports, but I still shoot everything else. But yeah, it's pretty much it.
Cool. Just wait, I'm trying to get my screen share ready here. So there we go. So when you do the sports stuff, you're not using the iPhone for most of it. You're 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 gonna use your big camera,
Yeah.
but with okay, well, let's just talk about your gear for a second. What gear do you have that you use for this?
Like right now, I'm using a Nikon D5 and a 70 to 200 2.8. So that's pretty much what I use for sports. I do have 2 other lenses that I will interchange. I have a 10.5 fisheye, which really gives a very unique perspective, and then I've got a 50 millimeter 1.8 for kind of closer up stuff. So
Okay, cool. Now, as far as the phone side of it goes, you're using a 17 Pro Max, I think, is it?
yes, yes.
And what do you do with it? Like
So
what part of your repertoire does that involve?
I used to have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, but the quality wasn't as good, and I didn't share as much as I do with the 17 Pro Max. 17 Pro Max was like a game changer as far as like clarity, and it's just amazing, especially like in gyms that are bad lit and football fields that are poorly lit. The iPhone is just amazing. I can, with like lacrosse, when they drop the ball, I can zoom in 200 millimeters or 8 times zoom, and I can get this awesome slow motion video of the players. And then I can turn around and send it straight to one of my stories on Instagram. So it's really nice to be able to get clips of the game and share them with people that aren't at the game, you know?
Yeah, and, the instant gratification, that's kinda key too. I
Yes.
always go back to a story that Rick Salmon told me about how I asked him how he got into using his iPhone and stuff, and he said he was with, I think it was him and Scott Kelby, where they were in, I think, Thailand, and they were at the shoreline, and they were taking these shots, and Rick's wife had Susan is her name. She had her iPhone, and she was using it just to snap pictures, and, Rick and Scott got their tripods out and all this stuff, and then big lenses and filters and all this stuff. Susan takes a picture of this guy, I think, in a boat in the water or something like this, and by the time she walked over to show them, "Hey, guys, look at this," it was on Instagram, and, you know, jaws were dropping. They couldn't believe how fast and instant everything was, and also how good it looked. So, I could see why that would be a draw right there, like, I mean, especially if it's a big game. I don't know
Right.
what level of sports you shoot, like, I mean, do you do college, high school?
I do high school.
Yeah, okay, well, and that's a pretty big thing in the US.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
looks like
Friday Night
primarily
Lights.
basketball, Eric.
I actually shoot all sports. I started with football, then I went to volleyball, soccer, lacrosse, baseball, softball, you name it.
Yeah, you had some great action shots there.
Mhm.
Now, are you
Thanks.
using burst mode on the phone?
Yeah, with the phone, usually, like, the games are bright enough during the day so that, like, right before the game, it's still pretty bright, so I can go around and get headshots or portraits of the players with my iPhone, and it's so much easier to edit, those photos on my iPhone than to take it with my big camera because it takes a day or 2 to edit on my big camera,
Mhm.
and then I started doing this thing with all the players. I started giving them, portraits of them right before the game, so it's just something to give back to the athletes.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's
let's
cool.
let's let's break in here. I was gonna save your iPhone. I got 2 iPhone pictures and 3 of your Nikon pictures just to show what you do, right? And I'm gonna break in with one of the iPhone shots here just because that's exactly what you're talking about, and it's a portrait, and it's a very clever one too, I think. So, just talk quickly about this one and how you got it and edited it and all that.
This idea actually came to me back in 2002. I did the same thing of a friend of mine. He was looking at his wife, and I took a photo of the reflection of her. So now, fast forward to 2026, that still, resonated in my head. And I was like, I just happened to see this guy's sunglasses, and he was looking at one of the players. And I was like, oh, you got to let me take a photo. So I took a photo and I, converted him to black and white, but I left the lens in color. So it gives it that pop.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's
Color
pretty
pop.
cool.
Yeah.
And, okay, so this was the 17 Pro Max, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it's got some good depth
Mhm.
of field, good, blurring in the background or bokeh, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
and, nice crispness in the image in the glasses. And, okay, so do the players, are they always welcome to have their pictures taken, or do you have, any issues with that? Because some people just are a little camera shy.
Yeah. It's very rarely that I mean, pretty much everybody knows me in all the surrounding towns now because they go to my Instagram page. But every once in a while, I'll run into somebody that says they're camera shy. But
Yeah.
most people, they will do things for me to take, more interesting photos, jumping up in the air, chest bumps,
Mhm. Oh,
stuff like
really?
that.
Oh, that's cool.
So they see me and they're like, "Yeah, we're getting these awesome photos from this game." So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay, well, we'll jump into the second iPhone shot here, and I really like what you've
mm,
done with this one.
yeah, I get to be really creative with the portraits. With just the sports stuff, I get a little bit creative with lighting and stuff, but with the portraits of the players, I'm always looking for lighting and symmetry and stuff like that. So
Was
That
this one of
yeah.
the settings in the portrait style?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
like studio light or one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the lighting on it. I don't know, it looks to me like it might be, late in the evening or early in the evening rather, late in the day, just kind of the way, the light's cast on his face and that, and then with the edit, you're able to knock out the background, that type of thing. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I
And
think
that's
that
the
actual
beauty.
setting knocks it out for you, doesn't it? In portrait
Yeah.
mode? Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's
the
the
knocks out
status
the
beauty of these.
background.
Yeah, that's the beauty of these games is usually you have about 30 to 45 minutes to play with the light and get some really amazing photos of the players doing their thing. And so I always try to take a photo when they're not expecting it, because you get
Oh, yeah.
a more natural look.
Mhm.
What's cool about this one is you didn't completely knock out the background. You can see what appear to be windows, far off in the distance that just
Yeah,
lead off, which is interesting, kinda draws the eye in.
Mm.
right, right.
Yeah, it actually kinda neutralizes the fact that the subject is a little to the left,
Yeah,
but
you're right, Greg.
that's okay. Usually, I would put him to the
Mhm.
right, but you've got something there to take up that negative space, which
Yeah,
kinda really works, I think.
What I think is, on the left, I think if he was on the right, you can kinda get it you would kinda say, "I kinda feel what he's thinking," and then when you place him off to the left like this and he's looking left, that creates mystery
yeah.
and tension.
Yeah. Steve just in the, chat wants to know if these were taken with the Apple Camera app or a different like, a third-party camera app. Do you use a third-party camera app at all, or are you all just Apple
Um,
Camera?
yeah, pretty much all Apple camera, unless I'm really wanting to do something really, different. It's pretty much, I usually sometimes I'll shoot in RAW with the camera app, but mostly it's JPEG because
Mm.
it's just I want a real fast turnaround. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's the best way I can get it done really quick.
Now you say
Yeah.
Eric, you use mostly burst mode, right? Or do you occasionally use live photos for more
Um,
action shots, or you do try to use the burst mode?
I don't really use the burst mode that much
Okay.
for stuff like this because they're not moving. If
Right.
they are moving, then, but then like on the video side, I do a lot more creative stuff with my iPhone.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay, so I will get rid of this, and so for the reels, you're just filming the shots into your camera roll, I take it, and then,
yes,
producing the reels afterwards, and is there any editing that goes on, you know, other than, maybe just selecting a little clip? Like, do you use
yeah,
any little apps to do any edits and stuff?
I do use LumaFusion quite a bit to you know shrink the clip down to make it so that it's edited and it's like directly on point as far as like what's going on like with slow motion. I will I'll get that 2 seconds of real time and then it goes into slow motion. So usually like when a pitcher for softball is pitching the ball, you get the wind up in normal speed and then when she lets go of the ball it's in slow motion and
Oh,
it,
neat.
it's
That's a cool effect.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same thing with baseball too. You get him winding up and then that that first 2 seconds, and it's I've gotten to the point now where I know when to hit the record button, so you do get
Mm.
that second or half a
Mhm.
second, real time and then goes into slow motion, so
Yeah. That's cool.
I wish those balls came in slow motion like that when I was playing.
I know,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And
I
I mean,
played
I
slow
I I
pitch and I'd
know
still swing.
I know with the, slow motion, you do have the ability to fine tweak it too and edit. So,
Yes.
if you're like,
Yes.
"Oh, I didn't want it to go slow motion quite at that time," you can do that or crop. So,
Right.
it makes and it's quick and easy, like you said. It's quick and easy that way you can I know when people wanna follow along, especially for, like, high school games where, it's not, like, once a week most of the time, you're getting multiple games a week. They wanna see
Yeah.
the highlights from the latest game, so if you can get them up quickly, that's great.
Oh, yeah. 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 Anything I shoot with my iPhone, I try to get, like, as soon as I get home, I start doing that,
Mhm.
and then usually, like with my camera, it takes about 2 days to edit the normal photos. So
Yeah. So speaking of normal photos, we'll take a look at a few of them here, just so that people have an idea of, what it is that you do. And, this is what you work your iPhone into. So, these are the type of shots you get with your Nikon. And, we typically don't show traditional camera photos on here, but I think because of the nature of what you do, people need to get an idea of why you can't really do this with your iPhone because it just doesn't have that like, it's not bad, like, the 200 millimeter at 8x is not bad, but this is what you get with your Nikon, and, you don't
yeah,
have to wait till they're really close to you to
right.
get them because the Nikon is it which one did you say it was?
It's a Nikon D5.
Now is that full frame at all or no?
Yeah, full frame.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you can get some pretty decent crops and stuff in it too then,
Yeah, yeah.
if you need to, yeah.
Yeah. So my lens is pretty good for most of the sports. Lacrosse is a little bit difficult because the field is a lot wider and stuff.
Mm.
Football at 7200 is good, so you can get like action. But I still have to do a little bit of cropping, minor tweaks to the crop to get it so that when you see the photo, you see the ball, you see the players, and you don't really see anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, for composition, I guess, right?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So is there anything done to these images besides cropping?
I do go in Lightroom, and I sometimes I might have to adjust the levels a little bit because you're shooting at a pretty high ISO
Mhm.
already, and you have to get rid of the grain or the noise. So you have to adjust for that.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Michael Sage, who was on a while ago, he says, "Do you find the light in the high school stadiums, is it very low?"
Yes, it is. The one main stadium that I shoot at here in town is the lighting's good except in the end zones. So I have to
Mm.
if I'm shooting at 1,000ths of a second, I have to go down to sometimes 640 or 800. I got to slow my shutter speed down
Mhm.
because the light is so like they're missing lights in the end zones. So
Mhm.
it's hard to deal with.
What kind of ISO are you at?
With stuff like this, I try to stay anywhere from 8,000, 6,400 to 10,000, you know, and
Wow.
somewhere in that range.
Yeah, and the cameras today can handle that, like, it just blows my mind. My
Yeah,
last DSLR was getting noise at 400, like, almost unusable noise.
right, right. And
Mind you, that
my
was
cam
over 10 years ago.
yeah, my camera's actually from 2016. So,
No way.
yeah, yeah. They call the Nikon D5, and actually the Nikon D5 is the same camera they took to Artemis 2.
Mm.
They took it
That's
to
right.
space.
Mhm.
That's right.
So yeah,
That's
they
a
they
pretty
called
good
it the
club to be in.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. They called it the low light monster because it could produce at 10,000, you get a lot of not a lot of noise, but it's a lot less than a lot of other cameras.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, the
that's
stuff they took was crazy good.
yeah.
So, let's see here. You guys, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and fire away.
Yeah, Eric, I have one.
Sure.
Now, do you normally go to the same stadium, the same like for baseball? Is it like the same two or three parks, or because I know each, especially baseball, football's standardized, but with baseball, I know every field's different in terms of outside outfield dimensions and weird peculiarities with each field that you have to deal with.
Yeah, for the past 2 years, I've been kinda staying at the same fields.
Okay.
So, just recently, a lot of people have seen my stuff that follow me now, and they asked me to come to their stadium
Hmm.
to take photos of them. So, the first thing I do when I get to a stadium is I start looking at the lights just to kinda scope it out and see what I'm up against because I try to stay at 1/1000th of a second, but, sometimes you can either go to 800 or you just bump your ISO up. and then you get rid of the noise later.
Mhm.
Hmm. Just wanna hit on a couple of questions here before we go to the next image. Michael says, "Do you find that the autofocus tracking is sufficient on that camera?"
Yeah, in the beginning, it was a struggle. I was missing so many shots, and I had to figure out what was going on. So I changed my autofocus to group, and that's that way. It's kind of like a diamond shape. It's got 4 points, and that's the best way that I can capture, you know, pretty clear images.
Mhm. Okay. And Jeff Donald says he used to shoot high school sports in the '70s and '80s. We used to expose black and white Tri-X 400 ISO film. You know,
Wow.
that would have such a cool look to it though, right? You
Yeah.
know, like the
Yeah.
sports magazines from the time, like,
Mhm.
you know, that's what I think of, like, you know, I was in printing for years, and so we used to print, you know, Time Magazine, Newsweek, things like that, where, you know, obviously there's gonna be sports stories and things, you know, whatnot in it, and I remember I remember when Dale Earnhardt died, you know, a lot of pictures that were in there, I don't know how many of them would have been filmed, but just that look that there was back then, you know,
Mhm.
such a
Right.
nostalgic look. It was really cool. So that's, you know, using film like that, that would be really interesting. And because of the resurgence of film, I wonder what it would be like shooting something like that now, you know,
That's
with
I was thinking of the same thing, you know. But there is a photographer that I follow. He's no longer with us anymore. His name was Peter Reed Miller. He's one of the best sports shooters that there were. He's covered so many Olympic games, all kinds of different sports and stuff. And he he was amazing, but I think he passed away in January. So
Mm,
he shot
yeah.
everything with film, and then he went into digital, and he you know did amazing too.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's, oh, so Jeff says he exposed at 6,400. The grain was
Yeah,
huge. The film had to be in the developer for 30 minutes. Normal development time is only 7 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
just
you're Yeah, the ISO, that's you start at 6,400 and you try not to go too high, but you can always correct it, you know, on the back end of it, you know.
yeah, yeah. And Michael says they got an app for that.
They do. They do.
Mhm.
They actually have
Many
a
of which
few
we've
apps
talked
now.
about on this show.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
So
Because yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
the other thing I do is I used to shoot in JPEG, and it was okay, but I seem to have a little bit more dynamic range with raw files, so I primarily shoot everything in raw now. It's just it's almost like a night and day difference compared to, like, if you look at my earlier stuff from 2 years ago, you'll see, a big difference from what shooting now compared to what I was shooting back then.
Yeah. And all your processing is done in Lightroom?
Yeah, I was trying to use denoise with Lightroom, but I switched over to DxO Raw, and that gives me the best ability to get the photos, noiseless and sharp.
Okay, cool.
I'm not a big fan of AI yet. I'm a late adopter, but this Google Gemini, I don't know if you guys
Ye
watched that link that I sent you, but it beat all the other denoisers.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. It is. AI can be too powerful sometimes.
Yeah,
So you just have to you have a choice between, like, DxO Raw. You can have it soft, or you can have it strong or hard or custom. And that's the amount of denoise and sharpen that it will do. So if you stay on standard, it's pretty much you can't really tell that it was done with AI. And that's kind of the way I like it.
yeah,
So other than that, it's yeah, if you give it too much, then yeah, you can tell it's just not it doesn't look right.
sure.
Mhm. Yeah, Michael's asking, how do you share the images with the players and parents? So that's part of your workflow, you know, you get the images done and they're gonna want some. So like, what do you do there?
Yeah, so for the first 2 years of football, I was giving all the players my photos. I was editing them for 2 to 3 days, actually sometimes 4 days, and I would just give the players my photos. So I was building up my portfolio. Every time I went out, I would try to figure something new out to get my photos even better. And then a lot of the parents came up to me and said, "Hey, you gotta start charging," because they knew I wasn't charging. And
Mm.
so this past year, I started charging for my photos, and I basically kinda tease the photos on Instagram. They see some of the highlights that I've taken, and then I upload them to my Pixie's Head website, and they can buy the photos and download them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hey,
Um,
Eric, real quick, have any of the
Yeah.
schools reached out to you saying, "We have kids in a media class who are, maybe who, high school kids who are interested, and would you work with them or give us some tips that way?" Because I know,
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry.
oh, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I say I remember. Now, this is, of course, years and years ago, but they tried to have, at least for football, not for baseball or anything else, but just football. You would have, an early you would have film photography, or like if they could have an early video recorder of recording the football game. Just
Right.
so, you get these kids hands on to actually say, okay, here's something that's real that isn't just a class project that has to deal with not only, oh, it's a class project, so we contain things where it's real life where things happen that you have to deal with.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that because about a year ago, the woman that runs the yearbook here at the school, she wanted me to kinda teach some of the other photographers that did work for the yearbook how to kinda shoot stuff. So, the only thing that was kinda holding a lot of them back was the gear that they had. With high school sports, especially at night, you have to have a 2.8 lens, and because you need as much brightness as you can get, and you gotta have a fast enough camera too. So, I'm open to the idea as long as the students have accurate, equipment to be able to kinda do the same thing.
if you have a dog there, well, they're more than
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay, yeah.
It's
He
only a matter of time
follows.
before we see a cat tail go across Dave's face.
Oh, yeah,
That
we
was
have a cat too.
Yeah, that was unfortunately some of the noise I had to make because I actually had to move the laptop out of the cat's
Oh, okay.
way as she was starting to sit down on the desk. So I
Oh,
figured,
yeah.
yeah, so I had to just kind of shift over a little bit,
There's
unfortunately.
the
I do
cameo.
apologize for the noise.
Yeah, we see them in the
There's
Aw.
the
background there.
cameo.
Milo, Milo, come here.
Cute.
Milo.
Uh,
Well, camera shy
Courtney,
now.
get Milo. Yeah, he follows me everywhere I go. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I've had a dog
Uh-oh.
bust in
You got a
before
Roddy?
too.
Yeah, I know, it's a lab.
Lab, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, we love the pets. So, let's have a look at another one of your images here. Let's see. There we go. Actually, we're out of the picture, but that's okay. We're still audible. So this is a pretty cool shot, like a great like, you seem to capture these shots at almost, like, just the right time, which I think is pretty cool. Is this something that you've kind of honed your skills on, or are you just kind of able to almost predict what's gonna happen and when?
Yeah, I've gotten to the point now where I can anticipate what's gonna happen before it happens, but not all the time. Sometimes I totally miss, and I'm shooting right around 12 frames a second. So you can get, at least 5 or 6 photos, of that action. And
Mhm.
sometimes just the slightest hand will be in the way, or a foot, or the other player will be in the way. And it's very hard sometimes to just get the ball and the player, and that's it. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah. Have you ever offered up any images for a bad call?
You know, that's really funny that you say that because, yes, when I go to the high school games, I'm friends with a lot of the refs now, and, a play will happen, and I say, "Hey, you gotta see this," there was a face mask and you didn't catch it. So
Oh, yeah.
I catch a lot of face masks, a lot of fumbles, and helmets flying off a lot.
Wow. I did that at a ball game one time too. I had called it quits for playing, but I went back to watch my former team play, and I thought, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures." So I took a bunch of pictures, and there was a call at first base. The umpire made the call, and I thought, "Okay, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna stick my nose in where I don't think it belongs here." But after the game, I went up to him and I said, "This was that call at first." And he goes, "I'm only human."
Yeah, yeah,
So he had it wrong.
yeah, yep,
But
yep.
so, yeah, it's pretty interesting that, I mean, it's a good thing that they didn't, you know, tell you to beat it or something like that, like, they were friendly about it by the sounds of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of funny how they'll look at it and they'll say, "Oh yeah, you're right," but they can't go back and reverse it.
Yeah, and Michael says, "Do you find you need to crop in to make them more exciting?" So, that's the composition thing, right? Because
Yeah,
composition in a sports photo can definitely make or break the exciting factor.
yeah. You always crop for impact. There's a lot of guys that I follow on Instagram, and sometimes I'll reach out to a couple of them, and I kind of explain how I crop because cropping is probably one of the biggest things that will make you or break you.
Mhm.
So sometimes you don't really even need a tight crop. You just need a loose crop to kind of show everything around the players. But like with this, with the guy with the camera in the back and the guy in the green shirt, it's just I couldn't crop them out because it was kind of comical.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because sometimes, audience reaction is a big part of it, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I think we have one more. Yeah, this one here,
Oh.
this is a pretty good one. So,
Was
looking
that
at
a complete catch? That's what I need to know.
this is it.
Um,
There's a story here for sure.
yeah. So I am. My lens is 7200, so I'm at 70 now. The ball actually, he didn't catch the ball. It went to the guy in red. He caught the ball, but he was like really, really close. So I couldn't actually.
Mm,
Everything was out of focus because he was so close. I couldn't focus on him.
It doesn't look
But
that bad, really.
no, no.
well,
No.
no, yeah, I mean, like right now it's okay, but like when you see the guy with the football player with the red helmet on, he when he
Oh, I
caught
see,
it,
yeah.
he came like right up next to me. It was
Oh,
like
Oh, really?
if I would have had the iPhone out, I could have probably got it, but
Mhm.
yeah, so
That would've
but it
made a
was
good reel.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
well,
so
to ask a little bit of a macabre question, we all know sometimes in football, joints goes in positions they should not go. Have you
yes.
unfortunately caught like an elbow or knee being bent the wrong way,
In
or
basketball,
what? Mm,
yeah, in basketball, I've seen a lot of things happen where it's not even basketball, it's like WWE. It's so aggressive, and I've seen guys jumping way up in the air and coming down and landing on their head, and it the one guy, I can't believe he got up, but he went up in the air and he came straight down on his head, and he got up, and I was like, "Wow." So
oh,
and when he hit his head, you heard this thud, and it was crazy, it just gave you chills.
yeah, I mean, I could see like afterwards if you got a picture of someone being injured, them almost saying, "Can we have this picture to show the doctor so they can see exactly what happened?" So that maybe can help them out to figure out,
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
help.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
There was this one other time here in the high school. All the high school students here in the town that I live in Newberry, they all know me. It's like we're all friends, and it's like it's not like we're family, but we all know each other. So
mm,
this one volleyball game was going on, and one of the players for the team that I shoot for, she landed on her knee and she made this noise, and your heart just dropped,
mm.
and she couldn't get up. and it's just, it's you have this connection with the athletes, and when something happens like that, you just kinda like, "Oh, no," you hope
Mm,
everything is okay.
yeah.
So, it's
So
definitely
Michael asked if you've ever been run over, in a play, like
uh,
something that the one we're looking at here.
yes, I've been run over twice. I got hit, but I didn't get run over. It was a little bit different. A ref was running by, and I happened to be really close to the line, and he hit my lens hood on my camera, and it pushed the camera up into my nose
Ooh.
and
Mm.
busted my nose. So I had to
Oh, ouch.
get up and run. It was like the first game of the season too. It was last year. So I had to run to the concession stand, get paper towels, stop the bleeding, and then I kept on shooting. So so yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few times where I've almost gotten hit and I've moved out of the way because when you're zoomed in and you're looking through the eyepiece, you really don't have anything else. You can't see anything else around you. You just see what's going on in front of you. So so yeah, it's tough sometimes when you almost get hit.
Yeah, it would be.
Mm.
So another question that Michael has is, have you ever tried using your iPhone for some action shots other than for the reels? Like, yeah, I guess when they get close enough, you might be able to.
Yeah, yeah. I tried a volleyball game and I thought it was pretty good lighting, so put the ISO. I used I forget which app I was using, but I tried to go with DLSR settings,
Mhm.
and it still was kind of blurry. The light wasn't just right. But
Mm.
I would think like during the day, like noon, you could probably get some pretty good action shots.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine for volleyball somehow affixing of course, you're putting your iPhone at risk, but affixing the iPhone to the top right on the outside of the net where you
Yeah.
could actually put it so it would actually be at the top of the net level.
Right, right. Yeah, I was gonna be working on something like that this year for volleyball. Plus, I was gonna do something with football. Those little orange pylons that they have on the
Mhm.
end zones and stuff. So I wanna get a pylon, cut a space out, put my phone in it, and you can control the phone with your watch.
Right.
So I wanna be able to get those videos of the players diving into the end zone or catching these amazing, passes.
yeah, that would
So,
be cool.
yeah, I just gotta see if the refs will let me do it.
Yeah. So has there been any other innovative things that you've tried?
Yeah, like with my fisheye and, you're saying to put a phone right next to the net. With my fisheye, I would get, like, right up on top where the ref stands, and
Mm.
during warm-ups, it's actually in one of my reels. I don't know where it's pretty far down now, but I would get super close up to these players, and they would spike the ball over the net, and the way I edited it, it was just amazing. It was so cool.
Mhm.
So with that fisheye perspective, it was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that would be neat.
Eric, I
Um,
saw a couple photos in your I think in your Instagram. Actually, it was a reel. Do you do any drone work as well? It looked like you were coming from above on some cheerleaders or something like that.
Yes, I do some drone work for some of the stuff that I do, just depending on what's going on. Like warm ups, they won't let you shoot during the game. They won't let you fly the drone during a game.
Mhm.
So I'll fly before the game, warm ups and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, you did some good editing on a few of those, and I'm looking forward to digging into that further.
Yeah, there's a one reel I made with the drone, and it's in black and white.
Mhm.
And the way the shadows hit, it looks like there's bats or flies flying all over the field. And the music that went with the reel it's you got to look for it. It doesn't look like softball players. It looks like people are flying through the air. It's really
Yeah, that's
crazy.
cool.
hmm, yeah. I encourage everybody to look your Instagram. We got links for your
Mm.
website, TikTok, and Instagram. in the show notes. So, we I don't know if I can show a reel, probably because if anything, would be because I'm on the beta of
Mm.
this phone. I'm gonna have a look and see.
Oh, great. Could you bring it up in a browser on on the computer and just share that window?
That's a good point.
See, that's why he's the professor. Oh, what am I doing with that thing? Okay, okay, you guys talk amongst yourselves.
We'll let that one slide, Greg.
Yeah. I don't even know why I didn't think of that. Okay, let me see. Instagram.
Yeah, let's say while you're doing that, Greg, one of my friends, Mike Sorg, he does some photography for the SAE Baja teams, and
Mm.
he's taken his iPhone and put it like your idea with the pylon, and put it
Yeah,
like it's a little bit more controlled because you're not trying to push someone over a certain way, but put it
right.
right off the track and put it like as protected as possible so you can see these Baja cars
Oh,
kind of
right,
going
right.
right overhead.
Yeah,
So yeah, something like that, or i- end zone cam. I could see that, or like in football, it probably wouldn't work, but like the end zone, right on top of the goalpost, like in the
yeah,
crossbar, where that would be a little bit safer. So you would,
yeah,
I could
they
see
won't
them
let
saying,
you.
"Well, we don't want anything hard where the players could hit."
Right, yeah, they won't let you do anything with the goalposts at all. So you gotta do it from the side or behind. I was thinking about setting up a remote camera for just that reason further
Mhm.
back, but so
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
Okay.
always.
I have the black and white one here.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, oh,
That looks so cool. It does, it looks like bats with just
Yeah,
the way the lights
yeah.
are
let's
casting the
say, yeah,
shadows.
with the shadows and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I just happened to be flying at night and I saw this and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta convert this to black and white because it looks so amazing."
Yeah. So audio listeners, again, go to Eric's Instagram or TikTok. I think these are all on the same like, they're all on both services, are they, Eric?
Yeah, TikTok is a little bit different, but Instagram is pretty much
Yeah.
like.
So go to the Instagram feed and check these out. You know what? I didn't have to go down too far to find this, to be honest with you. So
Oh, yeah, I
let's
thought, yeah, you
see.
can go through the Reels tab. So that's with the drone.
Yeah. So I'm going to let's see here. I'm gonna go and find, something that you've done, okay, like say this one, it looks like an action sequence. Actually,
Yeah,
no, that's an
actually,
image. Well, no, it's a
yeah, I did
video.
a
It's just still images. Yeah.
yeah, I made a reel out of photos, so
Yeah. Okay. This is a soccer. Looks like maybe
yeah,
practice.
yep. So I was
Yeah.
right there by and the guy that you see in that video, he's the same guy that was in the sunglasses. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is where you're showing some slow motion, fused with
Mhm.
the normal speed and whatnot.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
No, Eric,
Just find,
for that soccer shot, were you holding the phone or was that something you set up?
yes, I was holding the phone for
Okay,
that.
a couple of those ones were kinda look like they were coming right at you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to move out of the way a few times. So
Were you,
because
were you inside the
there's
net?
I put my phone through the net
Okay.
and yeah, it I couldn't believe how fast they kicked the ball. It was just insane.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So we're looking at some volleyball action here in slow motion, and then just as as the play is over, it goes back to normal speed. So,
Yeah,
yeah, some pretty
Mhm.
creative work with the iPhone in this genre of photography and videography. That's something we haven't really talked about too much on this show is video stuff. And but I'm glad we've you know made this an episode because now here's a basketball shot, layup, slam dunk.
Mm.
The Michael Jordan style, I
yep,
guess you could say.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, pretty cool stuff.
So I uploaded that within 2 minutes of it happening and it just skyrocketed. you know?
Mhm.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, is there many other guys doing this, or are you pretty much the only one at the games
um,
that's
no, there's a lot of other photographers that are at the games, but my style is a lot different than their style. They Some of them get peak action, that's kinda what I call it, is peak action, but most of them kinda just get some plays, and then a lot of guys kinda standing on the sidelines or, just hanging out, and I'm all about the action.
Mhm.
I can't even walk past a soccer game, without, or any candid game without shooting it, it's like it's just tough. But the other thing is, like, a lot of guys do use Sonys for video,
Oh, yeah.
and there are some pretty good guys out there that do some amazing stuff with the video, but I haven't really seen anybody using their iPhone like I do.
Mhm.
So, I don't know if it'll catch on. I mean, it's
Oh,
hard to
we got a
say.
rundown.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, no, this is fun stuff. I'm gonna be looking at a few more of these tonight. Like, I checked out a few of them before, but yeah,
I
now
wanna
you got me
coach
kinda
these
hooked.
kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Another rundown. Yeah, so,
Yep.
again, audio listeners, sorry if we're kinda boring you right now, but I do encourage you to go to Eric's Instagram feed and go to the Reels section where you can see some of the stuff. We got a rundown going here with in a baseball game,
Oh,
and
nice slow
it's
motion too.
it's good slow
Yeah.
motion. Like, this is
Yeah.
really fun to watch. "Oh, yeah, they got him." Of course, I mean, they're gonna get him.
Mm,
You rarely see anybody outrun a rundown or whatever you wanna call that.
you know.
Pickle.
So so that's,
So the other thing I try to incorporate is time lapses
Mm.
during a game. There was a game last year. It was supposed to rain during the game, but this fog came in. And so I made there it is right there. Yep. So I made this time lapse of the fog coming in and out of the stadium. It was really amazing.
oh, this is
Yeah, that's
neat.
cool.
And then the photos for that game, were amazing too.
They would have been, like, nice and dramatic, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
And
So
is that a
I'm gonna put a
giant
link to this one. I'm gonna
let's
put a
say
link to
it
this one in the show notes.
is that a giant pumpkin in the corner?
no,
Was it
it's
around
actually
Halloween?
it's a
It's a
scoreboard.
scoreboard.
Oh, okay.
It but it
But I
does
could
look
see
like
where you get that,
it
Dave.
does. Yeah, yeah.
I was just thinking, if this happened
You're already
around
thinking about
Halloween,
fall,
this would
Dave?
be perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. with the fog, I could see the spookiness that
Mhm.
would bring, I'll say it looks like a jack-o'-lantern or whatever, but, no,
Yeah.
it's definitely the scoreboard, and that is so cool. I'll have a link to this one in the show notes because this is the best thing I've seen on here yet. It's so freaky, but, no, that's really good. You're getting some compliments
Mhm.
in the chat, and
Awesome.
Dave, somebody likes your goatee. Yeah, so, yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, any other questions, guys, before we tie it off here?
No,
No, keep up the good work, Eric.
yeah,
I'll look you up and, connect with you on,
Thanks.
Instagram for sure.
yeah, and I can just
Yeah, and I have
imagine how much
another
oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I can just imagine how much the kids appreciate it because, like, when I was in high school, I loved baseball. I just wasn't talented, so I was the quote unquote manager or I kept the stats. And
Yeah,
the fact that, late 80s, something happened during the game, interesting, not there was nothing to cover it. There were a
right.
couple of times and a couple of actions that would have been like, "Oh, this would have been a great shot," or "This would have been a great memory." But of course, back then you didn't have the ability to even
Right.
get a decent shot where, I one thing I can think of, one player in our team hit a home run that was like a towering home run, and it was one of these fields. Maybe you don't have this in Florida, but it was one of these fields that was kinda put next to the school, and it was kinda like
Oh,
shoved in the
right.
neighborhood. So it had a
Yeah.
giant 40 like a 30-foot hill in left field that was in play, and the fence was on top of hill, and he hit it on top of the hill over the fence, and it was just a
Wow.
towering shot up there. And just
Wow.
to kinda
Wow.
see that kinda shot would have been, but of course, back then it's like only the players who were there, only the
Thought
people
and
who were
remember
there
it.
could actually remember because we were the only ones who saw it, and our baseball games were always, like, right after school.
Yeah.
Being up north where I'm in Pittsburgh, so, baseball starting in April and May, we
Yeah.
still had I mean, April, we still have to occasionally worry about freezing temperatures at night. So all the
Wow.
baseball games were at, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon 3 to 5. They were all
Ah,
afternoon games, so, you
yeah.
know, not many people showed up per se. But to have that kind of a memory, like what you're doing for 'em, that's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides, all the sports I do, I have another page that I do non-sports, and that was like a very difficult thing for me to do because I never niched in anything, and I didn't never wanted to niche in something because I'm all over the place with photography. I would never be able to just shoot one thing. So so I pretty much shoot everything. So my live eye photo on Instagram is kind of like my non-sports, and my live eye is my sports. And sometimes they do merge together. I'll be at a game and there's an amazing sunset, and I capture it. So it's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Well, I've got I believe it's the sports one on in the show notes, but I'll look up the other one and I'll make sure that I add it as well.
Okay, yeah, a lot of that stuff was done with the iPhone too. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, and your website is
liveeyephoto.com.
liveiphoto.com. Okay. All right. Well, this has been a great discussion, and I'm glad that we put it out there. I guess it was, gosh, late last year, was it, guys? We were
Mhm.
asking if anybody wants to come on the show, let us know. And we've had Michael Sage, Jeff Donald twice. We've got you now. I love it when we have a guest on the show because it gives people a chance to tell their story, and uh,
Yeah,
We
and
can learn
that's
from each
how.
other.
Mhm.
right.
Exactly. Oh yeah,
It's great
yeah,
variety.
Mhm.
yeah, and that's how my own version of podcasting got going. Like I started with Dave on Tiny Shutter, and then it developed into this. But while Tiny Shutter was still going, I did my own thing where I interviewed people from this community that I was in called the Artful Eye Photography Community, where I would let people tell their story, and we just had a discussion, about what they do and all this stuff, and so that kind of you know gets back into what we're doing here, and I love that. I love hearing what people's stories are and how they got into it, and that's something we haven't asked you yet, Eric, is how did you get started with the iPhone?
I remember getting the iPhone 3G. I had a BlackBerry, and I had the iPhone 3GS, and that's when it kind of started. I, went from the 3GS to the 4, and then the 6S, and then the 10S Max, and then the 13 Pro Max, and now the 17. So in the early days with photography and the iPhone, you would edit photos on the iPhone and it would change the whole file size. Back, I don't know if y'all remember that, but you would edit in Snapseed or something like that, and the whole file size would be diminished compared to what it was. And
Yeah,
so now, you can edit and you get the same file size as, normal. So you can actually print the photos out. So
yeah, yeah, it's come a long way, since back in the day, and
yes.
and I too was a big BlackBerry user. In fact, I really poo-pooed the iPhone for a while because of Steve Jobs' closed ecosystem. I didn't agree with that. But
Yeah.
then as he was getting ill and I was starting to pay more attention to what was going on, because I listened to tech podcasts and they all talked about it, I started to realize that maybe he wasn't so wrong after all. And then it was the iPhone 4 when it came out and the
Mhm.
photography that you were able to get with it, it just blew my
Right.
mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but then the 4S was my first one, and then it's just been going ever since. So
But also,
Yeah.
Greg, we're pretty sure that if you didn't use BlackBerry, your Canadian citizenship would have gotten pulled away. back
I
then.
know. They're only, like, 2 hours away from me, so or were, I don't know. I guess, I don't know, they're still around, aren't they?
They
They were
got bought
talking
out
about
by
making a comeback, but I don't think it ever
yeah,
happened.
they got bought
Yeah,
out by Microsoft and then spun off from Microsoft, and I don't know who owns them now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the
Well,
Windows Phone for a while.
yeah, yeah, I was
That
impressed
was
with what I saw there,
Mhm.
yeah.
but, I mean, I don't know, I'm just an iPhone guy now and have been
Yeah,
for
same
years,
here.
so
Yeah, everything that I do with sports photography and my other photography, is my iPhone, my iPad, my MacBook Air. It's all intertwined, and it's just so nice that you can, your photo that you just edited can go to your phone so easily.
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Just before we go, let's just have a quick little discussion about what Apple's done with their pricing. I know this isn't really photography related, but I think it may have an impact on us this fall. They've raised their prices and on everything really except for the iPhone and the watch.
Yeah.
But those are coming out in the fall, and I suspect that
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
see price increases on those. I mean, if Apple's gonna do it, that's the time to do it, right?
Mhm.
right,
Um, I mean,
Yeah,
and this is all due to memory and chip shortages and stuff. So, uh,
and all due to AI data centers because 'cause they're the ones who
yeah,
they're literally using all the chips. And it's
yeah,
not
yep,
even the chips, it's not even a matter of if Apple paid more, they can get more chips. There's literally not enough production, and it's
right,
gonna
yeah,
take 3 or 4 years to catch up, and the question is, are you willing to invest a half a billion dollars in a chip fab that will
mhm,
only start producing in 4 years? And in 4 years, are they gonna need all those chips? And can you make that
yeah,
right,
money back? So there's,
yeah,
all this going on. So, yeah.
yeah. Like I got this MacBook Pro about a week and a half, 2 weeks before this happened, and had I waited, it would have cost me
oh yeah,
easily
a
4 or
lot,
$500 more.
Especially in
Wow.
Canada and outside the US, those prices are your prices are already
Yeah,
higher, and the price hikes weren't just like we had 2 to 300 in the US. You weren't 2 to 300, you were, like I
4
said,
to
3 to
600.
4. Yeah, exactly.
right,
Yeah,
So,
right,
and
yeah,
the new iPhone, they're saying that it's gonna be, if you look at the equivalent, ignoring the Fold or Max or Ultra or whatever we're calling it,
yeah.
and assuming we're only gonna have the Pros this year, we're not gonna have the base model until next year. It's gonna be 3 to $400 higher.
at least,
And
Yeah,
so but the only good thing about any of this is that they are dropping out the lower storage sizes. Like for the MacBooks, I think, you used to get a 256 gigabyte,
yeah.
and I think they've dropped that now, and they're
Now
making the bottom one, the 512
yeah,
for that, you know, so it's almost like they've raised the prices, but you're getting a little more bang for the buck, and I
but
think
it's it
what will
but the one time it's the like, it's not if you could say we're increasing with the new model, but we're just doing a like, "Oh, by the way, it's just an average, well, Tuesday or Monday or whenever it happened. It's just an average day.
yeah,
Oh, by the way, price increase, and by the way, we're getting close to back to school shopping season, so
Yeah, yeah.
we can't do it." But again, you see Windows machines and
Oh, yeah,
even
they've all gone up in
yeah,
price.
even the ones that use the Snapdragon processors to run Windows, which are generally cheaper, everything's gone up in price.
Yeah.
and
So
how's this
for
I
gonna
mean
work with the, flip phone, the new flip phone coming out? It's gonna be expensive already. I mean, you're talking like $5,000, you know?
Nah, I
I
think
mean
base,
well, in Canada, maybe.
the base is
yeah.
oh, yeah, no, I believe at base, I would not be shocked for 23.
Yeah, they were saying right around 2,000, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm
yeah,
guessing 23 now, base US, and then you can probably go up to 3,000 if you max out the memory and everything.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And so,
Well,
yeah,
it'll be interesting. I just wonder what you guys thought of all this
I mean, I would have
uh,
liked it if Apple could have swallowed more of the cost, you know?
Yeah,
They do have billions in the bank, and it kinda hurts, and I know literally legally have to make as much money as possible. You know,
Mhm.
legally, that's what a corporation has to do. But, it would be nice to say, hey, we're going to try to, maybe they even did it a little while. They were one of the last ones to raise the prices. They may have said, okay, we've been trying to ride it out and swallow these costs. We can't do it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think
Apple's RAM costs have always been more expensive than anyone else.
Yeah.
and, to their credit, though, how many years have they done iPhone announcements and kept the pricing the same? In all
Yeah.
honesty, they could have been bumping them up $50 a year every
Mhm.
year, but they haven't.
Right.
So, I mean, this is just it's kind of an owie, kind of an ouch, moment for them. I think the worst one is the TV, the Apple TV box.
Yeah.
They've gone up, I think as far as
Percentage-wise, it's
percentage-wise
massive.
goes, I think they've had
Yeah.
the biggest jump. I was thinking about maybe getting a new one because 'cause I'm still on the old HD version, not even a 4K one. Because well, I don't have a
Same
4K
here.
TV
Yeah.
right now either.
Yeah.
But if they bring one out this fall, I might consider, upgrading just to, have a faster processor and all that stuff, and nope, we lost Dwight again. But,
Unless someone just scored a goal in the, World Cup.
oh, maybe
He had to get off to control himself.
yeah. Oh, there he is. Did somebody score? Dwight?
Yeah, was it just me that went out?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
We figured maybe there was a goal.
No, we had a internet outage for about 6 hours today, and they
Oh,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, sorry
Uh,
about
that's alright. But anyway, Jeff says Apple will run their annual back to school sale, which they do. They
yeah.
have that every year, so
But
I think that's a good
sometimes
thing.
their back to school sales are like, they may even say something like, "Buy an iPhone and we'll give you not the AirPods Pro, but just the AirPods 4," which
Right.
is
Yeah.
$150. So it's like,
Yeah.
And they
eh
sound really good,
oh, no, no, no. They sound
you
good,
know?
but,
Yeah.
honestly, if you're a kid, what they used to say is, "Oh, and we'll give you a $100 credit for the store,"
Oh, yeah.
you know? We'll get or we'll give you an Apple gift card or iTunes gift card if you buy a, $1,500 machine, you get $100 or 150, and you can use that to buy the software you need or subscriptions. And a lot of people already have headphones, so
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I am curious to see what they're going to do, and unfortunately, and without getting deep into politics, the problem I think a lot of people are experiencing now is prices of everything have gone up
Yes.
tremendously, but
Oh,
salaries, at
yeah.
least in the US, salaries have not increased hardly at all. Salaries are not keeping up with inflation, so even
Oh,
if
it's the
you're
same up here.
yeah. So you're basically like, "Oh, I got a raise last year, great, but in terms of real money, I'm making less than I did last year." So I can see people,
Right.
especially with phones, because Apple makes great phones that last forever, saying, like, Ruth has a 15 Pro Max, I have a 16 Pro Max. Would I consider an 18 before the prices went up? Maybe, depending on the deals they have, but now it's like,
Mhm.
do you need it's not going to be, "I want the new phone," for a lot more people, it's going to be, "Do I need a new phone now?"
Right. I
And
think a
more
lot of
people
people are
can
gonna
say
skip.
yeah, a lot of people are like, "You know what? My three-year-old phone works great. It takes great photos. Everything works great. If I need a new battery, I'll get a new battery," you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm
even
gonna
if
have
you're
to
out
do
of
some real
warranty,
hard
it's only
thinking on
100 or
that too.
$200.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just wondered what you guys maybe
Oh, yeah.
thought of that because it's been some news lately and everybody else is talking about it, so we might as well,
Yeah.
get our 2 cents in, so well, I guess we'll call it a night. That was a great show and great topic. Thank you, Eric, for coming on. We really appreciate it,
Yeah.
and, we'll have to have you on again sometime, and oh, I wanted to ask you, have you ever considered those telephoto lenses, like, from, Reflex has them, Sandmark, Moment, they've all got these I think they've all got a 240 millimeter, and now Reflex has that 300 to 600 coming out. Have you considered one of those?
I was thinking about it, especially like with a fisheye, instead of having to use my DLSR for a fisheye, have it on the iPhone, it would save me so much time. As long as the quality's there, it would be, amazing. Telephotos would be cool too. I don't know how good they would work at night, but I mean, iPhone with a fisheye would be phenomenal.
Yeah. What about the 300 to 600? Now, the reason it's called 300 to 600 is because at 4x, it's a 3 times lens. So it's at 4x, you've got the 100 millimeter. So it goes to 300, and then the 200 becomes 600. And just yesterday, I think Reflex released a user tutorial video for that lens. And David Addison has shot motorsports with it. Now, that's daytime, obviously, um,
Right.
but I can't help but think with the lighting that I've seen in some of these pictures tonight, I can't help but think one of those lenses might do just fine.
Yeah.
You can shoot RAW on the iPhone, and, with that 600 millimeter, that might get you some real bangers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, then you can stay in one end zone, and you don't have to go down to the other end zone because you're able to reach that far. Otherwise, the way it works for me right now is I usually follow the ball, and then when they're down to the 50-yard line or less, then I'm in the end zone. So, with a 600,
Mhm.
you could stay in one spot.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting. I know they're shipping now, people are starting to get them. I haven't got one yet. Dwight, are you still getting yours?
Yeah, I haven't. I think they're gonna ship out later this month. They're trying to figure out the, duties and trying to work around those a
Oh, okay.
little bit. Some of the tariffs and stuff are gonna hurt a lot of people here in the US, I think. So they're trying to minimize that, trying to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, because I know I've gotta pay the duty as well. And Jeff says that the 4 times telephoto is f2.8.
Wow.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
that's good. Anything, 2.8 and lower, is great for those kinds of situations where you've had really bad lighting, and it'll help you a lot.
Definitely on a DSLR. On the iPhone, I find the 2.8 could be a little muddy. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, especially at 8x, but at 4x, it might not be too bad. So at with that lens, a 300 millimeter shot. But anyway, if you get one, let us know, and we'll have you back on, and we'll talk about how it works for you, because I think
Okay.
that would be an interesting addition to your workflow. Even with the fisheye, I'd be curious to see how all that works out. So, if you get
Yeah.
one of them, let me know, and we'll definitely plan another episode for you.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
I
Well,
just wanted to
thanks.
say
Yep.
I just want to say all the people that you do have on your show give me so many ideas, other ideas that I would have never thought of. And your
Oh,
show is
good.
amazing. So just keep on doing what y'all are doing because it's awesome.
Okay. How
Appreciate
do you
you
want
there.
that? PayPal or Venmo?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate
No, yeah,
that.
we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun doing this, and the three of us wouldn't do it if we didn't love doing it. So, and again, we love having guests on. So if anybody's listening and
Yeah.
you feel like you want to come on and have a chat, let us know. Go to the website at iPhoneography.ca and go to the contact page, fill out a thing to submit to us, and we'll take it from there. So,
Love to have you.
yeah. So thanks everybody in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Share the video with people that you think might be interested in it. And audio listeners, thank you for listening and being faithful and everything else to us. We appreciate it. And I guess on that note, we'll call it a night. See you
All
next
Good
right.
time.
night, everyone.
Thanks. All right.